I am so happy to be here today. This is a tremendous moment for Canada, for the Canada Growth Fund, for PSP, for Eavor, for Alberta. Really a great day. Je tiens d'abord à souligner que nous sommes réunis sur les territoires traditionnels des habitants de la région du traité 7 du sud de l'Alberta et de la nation des Métis dans la région 3 de l'Alberta. Je suis très heureuse d'être de retour ici en Alberta aujourd'hui. J'étais ravie de passer un peu de temps avec les membres extraordinaires de l'équipe d'Eavor qui sont ici. Je vous remercie pour votre accueil chaleureux. I do want to start by also taking a moment to thank Deb and Patrick, the amazing team at the Canada Growth Fund, the amazing team at PSP. It is your hard work that has made this announcement today possible. Thanks a lot. And I want to say how nice it is that Minister Schultz is here. She and I work together on another project that is so important for me, and that is our National System of Early Learning and Childcare. And that I know is something that she is as passionate about as I am. Fees here in Alberta have been reduced by 50%. That's saving families up to $10,300 per child this year. And actually, I think there are just sitting right here in this little group, 3 working mothers. So I think we maybe feel a particular passion for that. And Alberta is on track to reach fees of just $10 a day in 2026. This is making such an important difference for families across Canada, across Alberta, and here in Calgary. So thank you, Rebecca, for your partnership. Now, the great people here at Eavor are doing some incredibly important, incredibly innovative work. And in the years to come, that work will be more important than ever for Alberta, for Canada, and for the whole world. That's because, as we have just heard, today, the world's major economies are moving at an unprecedented pace to fight climate change and to retool their economies to build the net zero industries of today and tomorrow. Canada has to keep up. And we have to not just keep up, we have to be in the lead. And we can be. That is why our Clean Economy Jobs Plan is making historic investments to build Canada's clean economy and to create a new generation of opportunities for Canadian workers and Canadian businesses. One of those investments, and something that I believe is going to be a game changer for Canada's clean economy, is the new $15 billion Canada Growth Fund, whose very first inaugural investment is being made right here today in this amazing company. The Canada Growth Fund is led by some of Canada's top investors, and it is going to invest in Canadian businesses, help them scale, and support Canadians in attracting our share of the trillions of dollars in private capital that are waiting to be invested in the global clean economy. This fund is going to help great Canadian companies like Eavor grow and keep their headquarters here in Canada, here in Calgary, and expand around the world from their Canadian base, as Eavor is already doing. And this investment is going to turbocharge that growth. So I am incredibly proud to announce that the Canada Growth Fund's very first inaugural investment is being made in Eavor, right here in Calgary, here in Alberta. This $90 million investment is going to help Eavor accelerate the deployment of its world-leading geothermal energy technology, which has the potential to significantly reduce emissions in Alberta, in Canada, and around the world. Just as importantly, this investment is going to help protect and create great paying careers for people right here in Calgary and across Alberta. One of the wonderful things about this company and this technology, as we actually just heard, is that the same skilled tradespeople and engineers who built the oil sands are using those skills to create renewable energy. And I think that is just fantastic. So I am so glad that the very first investment of our flagship Clean Economy Investment Fund is being made here in Calgary, here in Alberta. Because our government's Clean Economy Jobs Plan was built with Alberta at its heart. This province has the resources, the hardworking people, and the expertise that Canada and the world needs. We need Alberta to be at the heart of a strong, growing, clean economy, one that powers Canada and the world and creates great middle-class careers for people across this wonderful province today and in the future. So I am really, really delighted to be here with Eavor today because as a proud daughter of Alberta, I want the people of Alberta to know that our government believes in this incredible province and in the remarkable and talented people who call Alberta home. Today's announcement, the first ever by the Canada Growth Fund, is concrete proof of that. Merci beaucoup. Je cède maintenant la parole à une entrepreneur extraordinaire, une Canadienne extraordinaire, John Redfern. And I do want to say, John, I love the advice we got that wherever you go, you have to have the maple leaf front and center, and you have to have it on all of your projects. I am wearing your badge, and I'm proud to do that. Very, very proud of you and your company. Thanks a lot.
I think for myself, as a recipient of a significant investment from CGF here today, we're here primarily to say thanks. So thank you for the investment so far. But if I may, instead of the regular tech talk we do, and we talk about our various engineering things, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Engineering things, I'd like to reinforce some of the things that Peter was saying. I agree there is a gap in the funding ladder that CGF is uniquely positioned to address. Please let me use my personal experience here at Eavor as an illustrative example of that. 7 years ago, we started out the funding ladder like all entrepreneurs with sweat equity. Co-founders like myself, Paul, Matt, Janine, we basically worked for free. We did it without seed capital, actually. Yes, you can still do that, believe it or not. We had maybe 40 grand. For this next step, we tapped angel investors, friends, families, Creative Destruction Lab, as Peter was mentioning, which is a great organization. And luckily, we also found in Calgary some super angels, Doug and Carol Beach, Ross McCurdy, people who brought our funding up to about $10 to $15 million. And then at that stage, in the early stage of our R&D, Alberta and Ottawa both stepped up and were very supportive with grants. From Alberta Innovates to Emissions Reduction Alberta to NRCan to Sustainable Development Technology Canada Limited, that's a bit of a mouthful, twice. Collectively, that got us through our field scale pilots. But, and including the Everlight, the Derek Riddell Everlight facility near Rocky Mountain House, which has been running since 2019 and has really been the foundation of all our progress since then. But after that, we ran into a bit of a wall, our funding wall. And it was more than just COVID. It was more than just the overall VC downturn. And we also had good support from BDC and EDC, who offered excellent advice, equity, and we hope will help fund some of our future projects. But there was no, that's a hint anyways. There was, okay. There was no investment, though, from Canadian VCs, reflecting this gap. And even more surprising, no investment from any Canadian strategics. Instead, we had to go on a bit of a world tour to the UK for BP, to Australia for BHP, to Austria for OMV, to Japan for Chubu Electric, even to the US, where we had Chevron, H&P, and I think Microsoft. I think they might actually be here today, but there they are waving in the back. So we had to go around the world to do it, but not a single dollar from Canadian oil cos or oil service companies. Over $500 million in funding in total, yet nothing from the towers behind us. I would put one small caveat on that. There was one person, Kevin Devoux, the CEO of Precision Drilling, who even way back in 2017 personally came and lobbied with us and also gave us free rigs and stuff for our pilot projects. So kudos to Kevin. But so with $500 million, you might ask, where is the missing rungs of this investment funding ladder that I mentioned? What's missing, again, are the Canadian strategics, who should be the ones leading this with scaling capital, in which we hope to encourage. This absence left us and others overly reliant on foreign strategics, directly because of the Canada Growth Fund. So we are keeping our independence, we are keeping our R&D and our headquarters here in Calgary, and we're working with CGF. Wow, that was a popular one. Okay. And we're working with CGF to identify Canadian projects to fit into our global pipeline. Ultimately, this help from CGF could enable us, we hope, to do an Eavor IPO and the creation of a global industry-leading Alberta-based clean tech powerhouse. That's my goal, anyways, or our goal. So we definitely need something like CGF, so they've arrived just in time. If Alberta is to transition their formidable talents into the clean tech realm. This is my personal experience. I'm happy to talk to people about it later, but I know I got to close up quickly here. So all I would add is a big thank you to CGF, a big thank you to our investors, our government supporters, the Eavor team back here, who got us here through all the due diligence, even our bankers and lawyers, yes, even them. They've been burning the midnight oil and really doing an amazing job to get things done for this event. And if I could call out Mike Holmes and Paul Cairns as well as the ones who actually led this Series B. So well done to all of you. It was quite a ride. Now let's take the day off before we start our Series C. Thank you very much.
Deputy Prime Minister, Minister, assembled guests, I'm Deborah Rita, President and CEO of PSP Investments. Thank you for joining us today. It's a very exciting day for our partners at Eavor Technologies, as well as for PSP. For 2 decades, PSP has successfully invested to support the pensions of hardworking Canadians in the Canadian Public Service, in our armed forces, and in the RCMP. And it's an honor to be the CEO of an organization that invests for such an important purpose to support the pensions of people who have served our country. About a year ago, the Deputy Prime Minister's team approached us with an interesting idea, a novel approach to supporting the transition of Canada's economy. And the idea was to give the investment mandate to PSP. And I have to say, and we've discussed this, at first it wasn't clear we should take that role. But we decided that we would for 3 important reasons. First, we recognize the market need that Peter talked about. When I was the head of real assets, which included sustainable energies at another organization, we found a lot of programs and funds that were available at the venture capital stage for clean technologies in Canada. But there was a gap in funding at the growth and scale-up stage. Second, I believe as an investor that the whole economy evolution we are experiencing is one of the most significant structural forces facing investors today. And third, we thought we could do a good job. We have deep investment expertise, we operate independently from the government, and we have a track record of success. Last year, in a difficult environment for investors, PSP delivered positive returns and a 10-year annualized return of 9.2%. We also have a history of successfully investing in Canada and in the energy evolution. PSP has been investing in renewable energy since 2011, and we have $50 billion invested in Canada today. Canada's economy, as you know, is blessed with numerous resources, including critical minerals, that have been and will be a strategic and competitive advantage for our country. But this means we need to support the evolution of the economy, and that's where the Canada Growth Fund comes in. By investing the Canada Growth Fund wisely, we can achieve the goal of preserving the capital and therefore having the opportunity to reinvest it and continue to support the transformation of Canada's economy. We believe PSP is well positioned to achieve this goal, and we're incredibly grateful to the Deputy Prime Minister for her trust, obviously. With that, over to another great Canadian leader, Minister Schultz.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is such an honor to be here, second week in a row with the Eavor team as we continue to celebrate and watch Eavor grow. This is not the first time we've celebrated this amazing team and the great work you're all doing. In fact, the hardest work being done today is by the team behind me. So thank you for what you're doing. But I know it certainly will not be the last. In August, I had the privilege of joining the Eavor team and European dignitaries to celebrate the start of drilling on the first commercial Eavor loop in Germany. I can tell you that there are two things from that day that stood out to me. The first was having German officials remark that they have trust in this technology because of where it comes from, which speaks to the expertise and skills of our energy industry and our reputation as being a world leader. The second was meeting this amazing team, seeing your families, being part of the celebration of that commercial project. It was a big deal, and it still is a big deal. I can tell you, sitting there, hearing the stories of the risk takers, the innovators, in many cases leaving their jobs and starting a company out of their respective basements, taking so much pride in our energy industry, but also taking their expertise, knowledge, imagination, ingenuity, and their willingness to ask the question, what if? It was an honor to be there that day, and I can tell you it sure made me proud to be an Albertan. Every person that I met in their own way reinforced that Alberta spirit that we are known for, hardworking and entrepreneurial, the spirit that put Alberta on the map as an energy powerhouse and will ensure we are a leader in energy innovation and technology for generations to come. Our government believes that innovation and working with industry are the key to reducing emissions in the years ahead. We are so proud to have helped Eavor's promise early on. In 2019, we provided $2 million to help them demonstrate their technology near Rocky Mountain House, Alberta. And just 4 years later, here we are, they're working on projects in Europe, the US, Canada, and receiving critical investments like the one we're here celebrating today. This is a made in Alberta success story, one that could be a game changer when we look at our energy supply. Using their hard-won expertise in the oil sands, Eavor has applied their drilling knowledge to create a breakthrough technology. Again, a testament to our province's innovative and entrepreneurial spirit and proof that Alberta's industry can and will use energy and expertise to power the world. Now, while Eavor is an Alberta success story, they are not alone. They are one of dozens of companies working on geothermal projects in this province as we show the world how to reduce emissions and keep growing our energy sector. We're encouraging these companies by working with them. And with a new geothermal regulatory framework, we are building the right conditions for industry to grow and to thrive while tapping into our incredible technical workforce and decades of drilling and geology expertise. Again, with this workforce, unrivaled energy experience, and a pro-business climate, Alberta is the energy innovation hub of Canada. Good things happen. This is one great example when governments focus on supporting businesses and when we work with industry to help foster this innovation. This funding is a great step forward for a promising company. So thank you to the Canada Growth Fund, and I hope to see more investments like this in more Alberta companies, projects, and ideas. We will continue to do our part to help others follow in Eavor's footsteps. We've already committed $887 million in tier funding to help develop more than 250 innovative projects, all aimed at finding new and practical ways to reduce emissions and grow our economy. We've announced $85 million in new funding competitions with Emissions Reduction Alberta since June. This future is founded on realistic, achievable pathways to carbon neutrality by 2050. That's what we're focusing on, and it's part of what today is all about. So thank you for having me here today. Eavor is proof that technological breakthroughs are not only possible, but they're already happening, and they are happening right here. Now, I do once again want to thank the Canada Growth Fund for investing in this innovative company. Eavor, I can't wait to see what comes next, and I'd like to hand it over to Pat Charbonneau, CEO of the Canada Growth Fund.
Deputy Prime Minister, it's a pleasure to meet with you for the first time today. Minister Schultz, it's also a pleasure to meet with you. And thank you, Deb, for your presence. And for the great collaboration over the last few months on this journey. My name is Patrick Charbonneau, and I'm excited and honored to lead the Canada Growth team. It's not every day that you have the opportunity to set up such an important venture for our country. Mon équipe et moi sommes extrêmement fiers de prendre en charge ce mandat. Et nous remercions le gouvernement du Canada de nous avoir fait confiance. I would also like to thank our partners at CDEV, Elizabeth Whiteman, who's here in the room, who have worked with us every step of the way since PSP was announced as the manager of the fund in Budget 2023. As an investor, I believe deals speak for themselves. And that's why it's an exciting day as CGF announces its first ever investment. To put things in perspective, 4 months ago, I was sitting at my desk in London, leading PSP's $30 billion global infrastructure portfolio. And today, I'm standing here, downtown Calgary, announcing CGF's first deal ever. That's progress. My colleagues and I have had meetings over the past several months with innovators, developers, and investors from across the country. I would like to underscore our door is open. We are looking to make good deals happen, and today's transaction is proof of concept. Une partie du mandat consiste à investir dans des compagnies au stade de commercialisation. Eavor est un exemple d'une compagnie qui développe des solutions pour accélérer la décarbonation tout en construisant des économies plus fortes et plus propres au Canada et dans le monde entier. Eavor is an example of a company in need of capital to scale its operations and unlock more impact. These are the companies we are searching for at CGF. Let me repeat this. These are the companies we are searching for at CGF. My team and I are committed to making the Canada Growth Fund a success, and we look forward to more updates soon. Thank you very much for being with us to celebrate this milestone. Merci beaucoup.